parenthood is the leading reason teen girls drop out of school. 3 in 10 teen American girls will get pregnant at least once before age 20. That's nearly 750,000 teen pregnancies every year. More than 50% of teen mothers never graduate from high school. Less than 2% of those go on to college. Out of 750,000 teen pregnancies, about 54,000 of those teens receive no medical care. We decided to talk to Miss Wurgler, the child development teacher at LaPorte High School, about the dangers of teen pregnancy.
I think the biggest is because teenagers are so young and this is all new, that they don't always take the best care of themselves with their diet and taking the proper vitamins and supplements that they need to make sure that the pregnancy is healthy, and not getting medical treatment as soon as possible, because there could be all kinds of things that could go wrong. There could be some possible birth defects that could be prevented, or even just having that time, like, if you find out that the baby's going to have Down syndrome or something like that, that you're able to mentally and emotionally prepare for that. Because preparing for a special needs child is totally different than preparing for a more healthy child. That's interesting because actually women are encouraged to continue to exercise as long as it's not too strenuous. But normal aerobic exercise is actually good for pregnancy, and it's good to maintain the proper weight and things like that. So as long as it's not something that would be a high risk sport, then a lot of times they can continue whatever those exercises may be. Staying away from, the environmental factors that could have negative effects, drugs, alcohol, certain even over-the-counter and prescription medications that could be harmful, maintaining a healthy diet and a healthy level of exercise. I do. I think that if it was something that was more commonly discussed, more openly discussed, and there was more factual knowledge shared at a younger age, that it could prevent a lot of it. And a lot of negative things that happen socially in our country, and things happen just from lack of knowledge. And so if we are better equipped to handle those conversations as a school or as a parent, I think that it could lower that risk a lot. This is probably where there's a whole lot of debate between parents and school system. I, as a parent and as a teacher, I think that it should be talked about more. Whether it's a formal class, I think that if it is a formal class, then they need to have the right teacher in place for that, because not every teacher is fully equipped or comfortable, or makes even their class feel comfortable talking about those things. So, for example, in my classes, when we talk, during child development, human growth and development, I've built up a relationship with these students before we start talking about these topics, so that it's not awkward or strange. It's in an educational way. There's nothing, strange or odd. I feel like most students feel pretty comfortable in that environment. So it would be making sure that you have the right person in place for that. And again, the more knowledge and the more aware people are, whether they're young or older, that we have, the more healthy we're going to be in general.
Next, we interviewed Madeline Pyatt, an lpisd student with first-hand experience in teen pregnancy. So emotionally, it was definitely very hard on me, and it took a very big toll on me. Teen pregnancy obviously isn't something that's praised. It's something that's very commonly looked down upon. So when I found out, it was like my whole world came crashing down on top of me. I felt a lot of embarrassment, a lot of shame, a lot of guilt, and it was very stressful, and it was a lot of pressure between telling my family and how people at school would react. It was also very hard for me to process the fact that, I'm only 16, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still experiencing so many different things. But I now have a responsibility that, obviously most teenagers wouldn't usually have. So that was very hard to accept. So, I felt very alone. And obviously, when you're pregnant, your body goes through a lot of different changes. So, in my first trimester, my hormones were all over the place, and it made me really, really emotional. I got really depressed, and I felt really unmotivated to do anything. I just wanted to lay in bed, and, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to be around anyone. But secluding myself so much also made me feel very, very lonely at the same time. So it was really just a lot of back and forth, and it was definitely very hard on me emotionally. So physically, like I said, your body goes through a lot of different changes. So in my first trimester, I was really, really sick. Like I had morning sickness really bad. I was throwing up all the time. Like it was hard for me to even eat 2 bites of my meal before feeling really, really nauseous. I feel really tired a lot of the time. All of my energy, all of your energy is going towards your baby, growing your baby. So I feel super drained and exhausted by the end of the day, as well as your blood circulation. All your blood is going towards your baby. So when you're pregnant, you tend to have lower blood pressure. And me being so small, it makes it even worse. So I'm really dizzy and really lightheaded a lot of the time. And, feeling so sick and feeling these symptoms, it definitely makes it very hard to go about your day normally, especially as a teenager. You're very active. You're going to school for 8 hours in the day, and then after school, I go to work. So, just getting through all your classes and doing all your work, and then, doing all your homework. It's definitely very draining, emotionally and physically as your body goes through all of these changes. So socially, it's obviously very hard because people are gonna have their own opinions and say what they want to say about your situation. And so I just recently came out to everybody about being pregnant, and hearing the negative comments are definitely very hard, and it's just crazy how mean people can really be. A lot of people doubt me and call me names, and like my boyfriend's black, and so I've had someone say, really racist things about him and about my baby, since obviously my baby's gonna be part black. And that was something that was really, really hard for me to hear. And it's just things like that really get to you. And I think it's just really important for people to realize the impact that they're having on me or on other pregnant teens when they say really negative things like that. Like me and pregnant teens are already going through so much stress and so much pressure, and they don't really need unnecessary negative comments, but it's something that just happens, and it's something that you're just gonna have to deal with. And I've learned to, really try to block that out and be as positive as possible, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like it's your situation. And then also I played soccer, and I had a scholarship to college, and that's something that I've had to give up, which was really, really hard for me because it was something that I was really, really passionate about, and I've been playing since I was like 4. A lot of sacrifices come with teen pregnancy, and it definitely impacts you socially. I definitely think that having support plays a big role in your success. I've been lucky enough to have such a big support system coming from my family and my boyfriend and his family. You know, my mom's number one thing is to not let this stop me from achieving everything that I had planned. She wants me to continue school and still get my education and still become a doctor, just like I had always planned. And I think it's very important to have someone there to motivate you and support you and tell you that it's going to be okay, because it's something like that that really impacts you and your mindset. You know, I think a lot of the girls that end up dropping out when they get pregnant is because they don't have that support system behind them, or someone to be there to tell them and motivate them to still, accomplish everything that they wanted to accomplish. So having that support not only helps you succeed academically, but I definitely do think that it helps you succeed in motherhood as well. Um, you know, my parents are going to be there to teach me and to guide me and to help me raise my baby. And I think for mothers who don't have that kind of support is the reason why they really struggle to raise their baby. So I definitely think that support plays a really big role in a teen's success. So I'm definitely, like I said before, receiving tons and tons of support from my family, which I think I'm very fortunate, because not everybody has that. But my family, I have a really big family, so I have a huge support system. My parents were obviously shocked, but they were very supportive and loving about the whole situation. They really do keep me positive and help me understand that this is not the end of the world for me. It's just a bump in the road that we just get over, and I can still continue on the same path I had always planned on. So, my dad always says, from here, you just move forward from here. You just continue going to school, continue going to college, continue doing everything that you still wanted to do. So I'm definitely very lucky to have such a huge support system from, all of my sisters and all of my aunts and uncles and cousins, So I'm definitely receiving a lot of support from my family. Yes, I am receiving support from the school. Obviously, like, support from nurses. If I ever need anything, I can go straight to the nurse and they will do whatever they can to help me. I'm receiving a lot of support from my teachers. They were very understanding when I told them what was going on. They're doing anything they can to make sure that I'm succeeding in their classes. And they're definitely people that I can talk to. They've been very, very sweet to me about the whole thing. But as far as a school program, they have something called the homebound process. And that's basically whenever I go into labor, I will contact the school, and that's when my homebound process starts, which is where they give me a 6-week period to stay home and recover and take care of my baby, and all of that. And as far as schoolwork, they have a homebound teacher that will come to my house twice a week, and will drop off any work that I need. And they will drop off any work that I need, and will stay and assist me if I have any questions about, like, any worksheets or assignments that I was given. So yes, the school is definitely providing support for me, which I'm very grateful for. No, before now, I did not know about the homebound program, and that was something that me and my mom were really worried about, was whether or not they would have a program for me once I started, getting into labor and giving birth and everything. After talking to Madeline, we emailed Ms. Sadler, an lpisd counselor, to learn more about the programs that LaPorte High School has to offer teen moms.